If you feel like the Etsy algorithm absolutely hates you and you've tried everything, but you earnestly desire to rank #1 and make those sales, I have good news for you. You absolutely can. But you have to understand the obstacles that you'll face because you will. Otherwise, you won't be making sales. In this video, I'll cover every single ranking factor, both known and not so known, so that way you can get ahead in revenue. By the end of this video, you'll understand in depth how the algorithm silently judges you. What's up, everybody? Dave here. So the algorithm on Etsy.com is very specific to the platform. It's different from eBay, it's different from Amazon, but it also acts like some other algorithms. It acts like a social media algorithm at times, and a lot of people don't understand that. So I want to explain the not so known ranking factors in this video, as well as the known ranking factors and how people mess it up. Because the title of this video is Why Etsy's Algorithm Hates You and How to Fix It. Before we jump into it, definitely grab the free Etsy Ads cheat sheet in the description below. It'll help you get started or understand Etsy Ads more and get more sales with Etsy Ads, as well as if you would like one-on-one help to grow your sales, book a free 10-minute call in the description below. I've helped hundreds, if not thousands, of Etsy sellers personally get to 6 figures and beyond, and I would love to have you as my next student. So let's jump into it, why Etsy's algorithm hates you and how to fix it. So my thesis for making this video is that endless ranking factors, which one might not understand, can make it impossible to keep up, rank, and make sales. And even the most talented artists or craftsmen can fall flat on their face if they don't understand the specific, very specific algorithm that operates in the background on Etsy.com. Keep that in mind. It's very specific. It's not the same as other platforms, and they're developing it nonstop, as we know from different changes. Once you understand how each one works and how the algorithm thinks and judges, you can apply the correct changes accordingly. I want you to keep this in mind. The algorithm doesn't hate you emotionally, okay? But it can hate you. It can hate you statistically, mathematically, when your listings don't win comparison tests, when your listings send the wrong clicks or when you receive the wrong clicks, and it hates you when you don't have momentum, hates you when your shop looks inconsistent, okay? It hates you when your data proves rejection. If it doesn't have a proven data point to give you sales or give you views, then it's not going to. And it might feel like you're hated in that sense, but you're not actually hated. The algorithm doesn't hate you per se. It hates what you keep feeding it. So let's jump into the algorithm ranking factors. I'm going to start with the simple ones, but then get into the more advanced ones, what it is, what you can do, and how people mess it up. So here's number 1, SEO, which means title, tags, description, attributes, and materials. The algorithm looks at all of it. Titles and tags the most, description next, and then of course attributes and materials. It does help the algorithm. It's not the most weighted things. I mean, your attributes and materials, but they're there for a reason. So don't put Christmas on any old listing, okay? Please stop doing that. And birthday too. Please don't fill that out as an attribute if it's not explicitly for birthdays or explicitly for Christmas. Please, for the love of God. This is a bare minimum ranking qualification, SEO, title and tags is. It used to be the end all be all, and still people treat it like that, really, truly. It's the starting point, yes. So it's very important, but there's a much bigger picture. You must write keyword-rich, non-repetitive titles, tags, and descriptions. This topic alone can take multiple videos, and I can jump into it in other videos, but that's not what this video is about, SEO in general. I do plan on making more SEO videos in the future, so watch out for that. Definitely subscribe if you're new here. But a lot of people in the past used to think or it kind of did act as the end-all be-all. If you did the right things with SEO, I remember early Etsy, where if you repeated a word enough, you'd show up and you could clump listings. It was the wild, wild west. Now Etsy's algorithm is much, much smarter. How do people mess this up? People mess it up because there are a multitudes of ways to mess it up. Going too broad, going too specific, going too short on titles, using Etsy's trash AI title tool. That messed up a lot of people recently. There's a lot of different things, but we're covering ranking factors and how people mess it up. So it's obvious for this one, people mess up their titles and tags by not having descriptive enough things or going too broad. And it can happen to a lot of people. The next thing I want to cover is listing quality scores. So there are a few things that Etsy uses to rank or view your listing's quality score, okay? These are the factors. Click-through rate. What is click-through rate? It's your clicks divided by impressions. That's a percentage, and it's a click-through rate. It's a huge indicator to the algorithm of how appealing your product is, plain and simple, how attractive it is. The more people click, the more the algorithm sees real human interaction. The next gateway of a listing's ranking journey. So your SEO kind of qualifies it. Then if your picture checks out as well, then that kind of gets its foot in the next step of the door per se. So that's very huge, your click-through rate. How do people mess it up? With bad photos, with weird photos, with amateur photos, with AI slop mockups, with weird, creepy AI slop mockups. It's okay to have a mockup for like proof of concept, but maybe just use a different mockup if it looks awkward and weird, especially if it's the same chick across all the pages of print on demand that just don't use the mockups everyone else is using. That's one way people mess it up, is having bad photos. For the handmade side of things, people will mess up photos by having poorly lit shots or just bad cell phone shots, pictures of their product just sitting on carpet, whatever. Might fly over on eBay. People actually like that on eBay because it shows that it's real or whatever, but it's not for a brand. It's not for an Etsy store. So don't do that. The next thing, conversion rate. That's your sales divided by your clicks, okay? It's a measurement of how often people buy your product versus how often people view it. So this is the amount of sales divided by clicks. This is an even bigger indicator to the algorithm that something is working. It's how you rank and stay ranked. Everybody knows the more you sell something, the higher it's going to rank. And what is the mechanism behind that ranking factor and that solidarity of placement? That's conversion rate. All right, how do people mess this up? There's a lot of ways here, but people don't realize it. Bad variation setup. Maybe your variations are confusing product. And with a confusing product, there are ways to make it easy to buy, but I've seen listings that are kind of confusing and tough to buy. Maybe, you might have just a text box for somebody to type everything that they want or something weird like that. Try to streamline it as much as possible and make it as easy as possible for a fourth grader to say, I like that and I want to buy it. No infographic. If you don't have an infographic for a confusing product or for a complex product or a custom product, telling somebody how to buy it or answering most common questions, FAQs, then that's going to decrease conversion rate because people shop with their eyes. They look at the pictures, the price, then the variations, or some order of that, but people mostly shop with their eyes. So an infographic that answers common questions can quicken the product purchase path. And that's the main goal in e-commerce, to reduce as much friction as possible. So always ask yourself, what am I doing on this listing that could make it easier or make it harder for somebody to buy? So that's a lot to consider right there, but that's how people mess it up. And if it is messed up, it'll feel like the algorithm hates you. So that is one reason. That is another reason why the algorithm might hate you. So number 4 is we're going to go into the shop quality scores. Now, those were the listing quality scores, the quality of a listing, but we're going to go into your overall shop, how the algorithm views your overall shop. Your shop is a shell of all your listings. Your shop is a collection, an average of all your listings put together. And statistically, that has implications. So number 4 is response time. How quickly you respond to messages. I first said this in 2019, before the star seller was introduced. I noticed lower sales when I'd take a week or 2 vacation with my processing time increased. By the way, never go on vacation mode if you can help it. Just increase your processing time. When I didn't respond quickly, sales dropped. I remember distinctly, it was 2 specific vacations, and I didn't answer messages as quick, and my sales decreased. When I started answering again, they increased. So how people mess this up, it's obvious. Just answer your questions, answer your messages as quick as possible, because star seller is here. But at the same time, even within the star seller, 2 star seller shops versus each other, if you can answer questions quicker, maybe that will have a better help with your ranking. So keep that in mind. Just keep the app on your phone and answer messages there, just like you would a text message. If you can open your phone every hour on the hour to scroll, to doom scroll a little bit, like a lot of people do, like I'm guilty of, then you can keep the Etsy app on your phone to answer messages. It's very simple. If you guys want to build your own website outside of Etsy, I highly recommend Everbee Store. They have a builder that is extremely intuitive, very customizable, and you can import your listings from other platforms and you can have AI do it. They also have templates, of course. Very nice. I checked it out myself and I highly recommend it. The link is in the description if you want to try it. Number 5, reviews. So big indicator of customer satisfaction, which is important to Etsy as a company. You have to remember, you guys, that they're in competition as well. They're in competition with Amazon, eBay, etc. So, customer satisfaction is massive, which is why the next one is so important. But this one is reviews. So how do people mess this up? Obvious, not getting enough reviews. How do you get more reviews? Well, I have a perfect little message here for you. Hey, Hey, Dave, how are you? I am messaging about order number 123456. How did you like it? Would you mind leaving us a 5-star review? It really helps out my small business. If there was anything less than amazing for you, or if it was anything less than amazing for you, please just tell me here and I will make it right. So you're allowed to message people about their orders. You can go into your orders and hit message right on the order and it'll fill out the order number for you right there. So you can say this. That will give you the allowance to message somebody about an order and ask for a review. You don't want to seem spammy. So that's why we say that, because we're talking about a review. You ask them for a review. It really helps. People often do it. That's how you're going to get more reviews. But if they didn't like it, and that's why they didn't leave a review, that's why you want to say, if it was anything less than amazing for you, just tell me here and I'll make it right. Because you will have people, if you don't say that, you'll have people leave you 3-star, 1-star, stuff like that. So make sure to say that. Or if they did leave a bad review, you can fix it. You can get them to change it. Do not reply to a bad review, because that cements it in time forever. And then they're going to show it to you at the pearly gates. Just kidding. But hey, Dave, how are you? I'm so sorry you didn't like your order. Would you mind changing your review to 5 stars? Just start off bold here. It would help my small business. I can issue you a partial refund to make sure you're happy. Now, it's not technically a bribe, because you didn't say if, you didn't put that on there, but it does sound like a bribe. It sounds like you're bribing them to change their review. And in all honesty, if they didn't like it, you can give them a partial review. Maybe they will change it to 5 stars. Oftentimes people will do that because they like money. Everybody likes money. That's why you're watching this video right now, because you want to make more money. So use that on other people. They will change their review for you. Trust me. It works like a charm. Next, ranking factor is number 6, average fulfillment time. This is huge. This isn't relevant for print on demand people, but it can be if you can find a new supplier. The quicker you can ship, the more views you will get. I have been saying this since 2018. It's a night and day difference. If you can get your order to ship time down to 1-day processing, you will see a boost in sales almost immediately. It's not achievable for everybody, obviously, but just know this concept. So if you can improve it, do it. Get up earlier, whatever you have to do, no more Netflix, whatever. Movie night used to be 1 night a week. Now it's every night a week. So how do people mess this up? This one's obvious too, but this entire list is why the algorithm hates you and how to fix it. So bear with me. The algorithm you might feel like the algorithm hates you if you have a 1-week processing time and your product used to sell like hotcakes 5 years ago. So you had 1-week processing time because you were comfortable, but now it's slowing down and there are competitors that are shipping way quicker with products just as good or better, and they're shipping way quicker. The algorithm's going to choose them, plain and simple. Not just based on this one, but after all these add up or work against you, it will feel like the algorithm either hates you or loves you. So that's why I'm laying these all out for you. So let's go to the next one. These are the outside factors, okay? This one is a big one. These ones are big. Context-specific ranking. They used to call this interest-based search results. It means they're showing you results based on past behaviors, probably even cookies on your computer by now, and any other data your device is giving away for free. Creepy, right? I bet they're listening right now. Maybe, who knows? I know Meta ads do because you'll get ads for things you talk about. Everybody's seen those videos. So any type of data they can grab off your device, I bet you Etsy is working on making this technology in their algorithm better and better each day. It used to be interest-based search results where they explicitly said it's based on your past purchase history within Etsy, but now I guarantee you they're working on making ranking or search results for customers based on what they've done outside of Etsy. You can bet your bottom dollar they're working on that, or if they haven't, they've already implemented it right now. So how do people mess this up? There's nothing you can really do about this one, but you should know that the more people who buy your product, the more Etsy will know about you in order to match you with more customers they think will buy, just like a metapixel installed on your website. All right, last ranking factor, number 8, outside traffic. This is a big one because Etsy sees what comes into your shop from outside. It's platform. If people buy, awesome, that's great. Like, for example, Instagram followers that love you, the conversion rate of that outside traffic will be very high. However, if you're sending cold traffic from like anywhere that's cold that they don't know you and they come to Etsy, then that might hurt you. So be very careful. If you are sending cold traffic, make sure it's very interest targeted, whatever it may be, which I don't generally recommend. I like to recommend only if you're going to buy ads and send it to your Etsy store. Pinterest Pinterest is good because there's a lot of Etsy buyers on there and there is interest targeting on there. But anywhere else, it's like sending paid traffic to a mall where people will end up going to other storefronts. All right, so how do people mess this up? If it's bad traffic, it tanks your conversion rate. That's very bad. So be careful where you're sending cold traffic from and know this. So I hope all of these ranking factors helped you understand the algorithm more and why it might feel like it hates you and how you can improve these factors. Because when all of them add up, it can do really well and it can make you a lot of money. If all of them work against you, it can feel like the algorithm hates you. So definitely grab the free Etsy Ads cheat sheet in the description below, as well as book a free 10-minute call if you want my help hands-on, and I'll see you in the next video.